big part of the process. Kevin Cork live for us in D.C. Kevin, thank you. Let's bring in former Trump campaign Deputy Communications Director Caroline Sunshine and former L.A. GOP Vice Chair, Daily Wire actor Siaka Massaquoi. Thank you both for coming on. To you first, Caroline, I want to put this up. This is the New York Times. Musk versus Rubio is the headline. It goes on to read here, simmering anger at the billionaire's unchecked power spilled out in a remarkable cabinet room meeting. The president quickly moved to rein in Mr. Musk. But the president, the one that moved in to rein in Mr. Musk, said, never happened. Watch.
Mr. President, since you last spoke about it yesterday, some details have come out about your cabinet meeting with Elon Musk and some clashes potentially between Secretary Rubio and Secretary Duffy.
No clash. I was there. You're just a troublemaker. And you're not supposed to be asking that question because we're talking about the World Cup. But Elon gets along great with Marco, and they're both doing a fantastic job. There is no clash.
But you know the media just can't wait to gin up trouble in the administration, Caroline. You know, it doesn't matter. It's just like these sources tell me, oh, there was a clash.
Yeah, well, obviously I wasn't in the room, and neither were the people who wrote that article or any of their anonymous sources. So I don't think it's surprising to see this lack of journalism integrity coming out of the New York Times. I think they would have been smart to take a page from the Washington Post, who Jeff Bezos recently said, hey, we're going to redirect our opinion pages to focus more on things that the American people actually care about. Clearly, New York Times hasn't learned that lesson. But I think this piece was obviously intended to paint a negative picture of the administration, make it look chaotic, and there's, you know, already backbiting, infighting. I think they failed to do that because anybody who knows President Trump's leadership style knows that if any of that did happen, actually I think one of his best qualities as a leader is letting his top officials debate and have differences and let best ideas win. And that's what President Lincoln had with, you know, his team of rivals.
Robust debate is exactly what he's so in favor of that. Meantime, Fox News, the headline reads, Doge waste, government paying for idle accounts. The headline is, Doge says government paying for 11,000 plus Adobe Acrobat licenses with 0 users plus more idle accounts. And now let's go to the Doge tracker, the famous one. Here it is, 105 billion in savings so far, 10,400 plus total initiatives. So it sounds to me like, Siaka, a lot of pushback against Doge. Everybody wants them to be fighting Elon and everybody else. Boy, they've accomplished a bunch in a short amount of time.
You know, it goes to show you how successful they are that they have to drum up a story of, even if something happened, it's like that's normal. You have like a big-time CEO who's used to running his own company and making his own calls. And you also have a guy, Marco Rubio, that's been in politics his entire career, and he's used to moving in a certain way. If this is all they have, it tells me even more that, man, the waste and fraud that they're going to continue to find is scaring the heck out of these people, and I'm here for it. I love it.
It is a waste and fraud of ink and paper in a lot of places around the country. Meantime, Fox News writes the following here. Axed government watchdog says Trump had a right to fire him. Goes on to say, Axed government watchdog says Trump has the right to fire him. One of the government's watchdogs fired by Trump not only declined to sue him, but filed an amicus brief supporting the administration's ability to terminate his role. I mean, not only did he not take legal action, he's out saying, I mean, I'm a watchdog guy. I know when I have the right to be fired, and I had the right to be fired. Yeah,
and it's pretty convenient that most of the liberal mainstream media and Democrats are silent on, you know, this case because it doesn't fit the narrative that Doge has been a constitutional crisis, that President Trump is a dictator. This obviously is in complete opposition to that narrative. And, you know, the president, I had the honor of serving in President Trump's White House, and when you're there, you very much remember that you are there to serve at the pleasure of the president. It's an honor and it's a privilege, and it can be taken back at any time. And President Trump is in the right here legally, I think. His right to do this is protected under Article 2 of the Constitution. There's Supreme Court precedent for it. And even, I think it's the Inspector General Act of 1978 was recently amended in 2022 by, this is when Joe Biden was still in office, to say, hey, you can do this.
So there you go. You did your homework. But this, I want to play this soundbite very quickly. This is the president talking with Maria Bartiromo. It's going to air on Sunday. Watch.
Why did you roll back or put a pause into some of the tariffs until April 2nd?
Because I wanted to help Mexico and Canada to a certain extent. We're a big country, and they do a lot of their business with us, whereas in our case, it's much less significant. We do very little with Canada by comparison. And I wanted to help the American car makers until April 2nd. April 2nd, it becomes all reciprocal. What they charge us, we charge them.
Siaka, I got to go, but it's probably, you think it's a good idea for the president to pause these tariffs?
I think it was to move it back a little bit because it showed him initially that he was serious, and he's given them time to get their act together, and we see how serious they are. And if they're not, April 2nd, let's go. It's on them now, and he gave them a little bit of space. So now you can't keep saying he's a dictator, he's Hitler, all this stuff.
Oh.
He's actually being very magnanimous.
But they'll still keep saying it. We all know that, Siaka.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry.
Thank you, guys. Thank you both.